We're going to create 3 graphs. So we're going to do chart 1 here. This is exercise 5.2b computer graph worksheet. We're going to do chart 1. I'm going to do a line graph on this video. The next video will have a bar graph, and the third video will have a pie graph. So let's start off with create a line graph. So we're going to do chart number 1. So we're going to move over here. We're going to go to the boxes, and we're going to select sheets. We're going to begin by typing this table. So after this opens up, we'll just go blank here. So start off with a blank sheet. And here we'll call it 5.2b. We need some sort of title here. So 5.2b, 5-2b computer graph worksheet. And we're going to start our chart over here. We're going to go time and hours. And here distance in kilometers. We'll start our time 0. We'll go 1, 2. Now there's a fill command, so we can highlight these and fill it to, that'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, or you can just type it. Over here, kilometers, we got 0, 4, 12, 12, 10, 2, and 0. So we've created our table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this because it's a little bit big. And I'll shrink this one here. And I'll highlight these two. And I'm going to format, I'm going to text wrap it. So over here, I'm going to text wrap it. So I'll wrap it. I'm going to highlight this quickly and create a quick border. And right here, I'm going to highlight these and I'll shade it. So I made the table look pretty nice. We've got time, distance. Now I'm going to put a graph right beside it. So how do I do that? I highlight what I want to create the graph. So look, I start up here and I start highlighting. I go into the insert chart, and the first one's going to be a line graph. So I go insert chart, and I wait, and I wait. Maybe it didn't work. We'll click again. There's my chart. Now I can move it, so I can just see, I can just click on it here, move it on to the side, and here's my chart. Look, it already has distance in kilometers, so put this one here on this axis, which is supposed to time on the horizontal axis and distance on the vertical axis. Here I got my title, distance, kilometers versus time in hours, right? And we could double click and edit that if we don't like that. So we can come in here and, distance versus time graph. I can change that to graph here. And we can also edit any of this. We can click on that and edit it and click on that. Okay, now I'm going to show you here on the side. So on the side, this comes up. Now let's say you close it by accident. Whoops, it's closed. Well, you click on here, on the 3 dots, and you can edit the chart. And this comes back. So again, if this closes by accident, you go onto the 3 dots here. Okay, and you go to the edit the chart. Now here already, you can pick, so if you want to do a scatter plot, or let's say a bar graph, you can switch it, or column chart, but we want the line graph. Okay? And it says x-axis here, and distance on the other one, so we've got that. We can switch the rows and columns, but I'm not going to do that. We'll leave it. We're going to do some customizing, and I'll go over a few things. Chart style, so we'll go over these briefly. Let's see the style. Background color. Well, let's see if I wanted that. Well, not really. So you can change it to a weird background yellow or whatever you want. You can change the border. If you don't like this one, you can change it to a blue. Okay, I'll leave it. If you wanted to smoothen the lines, but no, I just leave it. Okay, and you can fiddle with that there yourself. You can change some themes. The font, you can change. If you don't like this font, you can change it to an Arial font. Should change it all, but you can fiddle with that yourself. After the chart style, so we see minimize, maximize, we got chart, title, and axis. So you can switch. You got the chart title, chart subtitle, horizontal title, and vertical. So the chart title, so right now, well, it changed to distance, kilometers versus time. Well, I didn't want that. I must have undid it. I just want distance versus time without the hour. So I'm just going to delete that. And it should change it over here. I can change the fonts. I'll keep it as Arial. I can bold. If I wanted it bold, I can make it bold there. Okay. And same with the other ones. You can change, you can either double click, you can click on it and change it, or you can change it here. Let's put a subtitle. And let's say it's John's walk or something, okay? That was his walk, so here's distance versus time is John's walk. Okay, so we got this. Next, let's go to the next one. So those are titles. Series. Okay, so we got distance, and we can change the dots. So you can change the color of this line. We are not going to play with any of this. I very rarely touch this and the errors. We will eventually use this trend line, but right now we will not touch the series. Okay, legend. Well, for this type of graph, we don't really need a legend on the side. It's more for a pie graph. Okay, let's take a look at the horizontal axis. So let's see. Well, yeah, we'll do aerial, auto. Okay. And let's see here. Treat label as text, reverse axis order. No, just keep it the way. Let's do a minimum of 0. So right now we're on the horizontal axis, this axis. Instead of going to 6, we're going to go to 7. So do one extra one. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even though the lines change for me. Scale factor, we're just going to leave it as default. We're not going to toggle. We're not going to turn it to a log scale. And we're not changing anything else. Okay. Let's do something to the vertical axis. So I don't like the fact that it goes to 12 here. I think we should have another one. I think it should go to the 14. So go to the vertical axis. Okay. We're going to go from 0. So the 0 is down here. And we're going to go, instead of 12, we're going to go to 14. We'll change that to 14. Okay, so now we change that to 14. And everything else we're going to keep the same. Okay, let's look at grid lines. So this graph is looking pretty good. Now, you can add minor grid lines, so it can put extra lines in there. That looks okay. Maybe I'll add some minor grid lines. That's to the horizontal axis, so the ones in between. What else can you do? I like to add these ticks. Watch this, major ticks. It puts these little ticks in here. I think it looks a little bit better. See these ticks? And then you can play and see what else you can change if you wanted to. Okay, let's take a look. Let's go to the vertical axis. And there's more you can change. I'm just showing the basics. Okay, vertical axis. So let's also add the, let's see what I have, minor grid lines. Well, it's okay, but it's looking a little bit tight. Let's take them off this time. But you could add minor ones so you just get more lines. But I wouldn't mind putting the major ticks on. So I'm just going to add these ticks here. And there I finished the graph. Okay, so I think it's not the graph itself that takes a long time. You just type the table and a graph pops up. It's making it look nicer that takes longer. Now, if you wanted to copy the graph, or again, if you wanted, right here, you just click on the 3 dots, you can edit it, you can delete it, okay? But you can also copy the chart, and then you can paste it into a Word document, or you can paste it into a Google Doc, and you can use it somewhere else.